Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we will be talking about Linux terminal fundamentals. Linux is a popular open source operating system. It was created by Linus Torvalds. There are different flavors of Linux which are available. Because of its so open source nature, you can find different variety of Linux and distributions. In short, they are popularly called as distros. Some of these you might have already heard of. Ubuntu is pretty popular for personal use cases. For enterprise, Red Hat OS might be more common. Besides, there are also other operating systems which are specific for a use case. For example, for cybersecurity, you might be using Kali Linux or Parrot OS. These are fairly common. Knowing your way around the Linux terminal is pretty handy. Um, you can, if you're a Windows user, you can set up Windows Subsystem for Linux or start using Oracle VirtualBox and download one of the image files for these Linux operating system, and then you are good to go. However, in this case, I am using the WSL in order to demonstrate the terminal, and my present working directory is YouTube. By default, won't be the case. I just created this for the purposes of this video demonstration. So let's get started. We will be starting with pre-wd, which is present working directory. It will list out your home directory or the current directory where you are located at. This is fairly handy whenever you are working with large file systems. And if you get lost, you can just use pwd, which is a command to list the same. Besides, you can also list out the files at a particular location using ls. So this is a command which will list out the files which are located here. In this case, my directory is empty. So let's start to populate this directory with certain files. So if you want to create certain files or text files, let's start with touch. Touch can be used to create any empty text file or any file to be depending on the extension. So in this case, we are going to create a text file .txt text file, obviously. Then let's list it out. You will see the text file has been created. If you want to list out certain important information associated with it, you can do lsl. It will list out all the information associated with that particular component. In this case, you will see some columns. In this case, the first column basically talks about the read, write, and execute permissions and privileges associated with that particular file. If you want to change the permissions, you use chmod a+x, then the name of the file. And if you list out the information, you see now it has all the privileges. That's why it appears green. And another handy tool is we're using the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. You can basically go to the previous commands, so you don't need to rewrite them again. So you can see that now this file has read, write, execute privileges for the user. However, it is not having the right privileges for the group and the other users. While this column basically specifies the hard link. So what are hard links? Hard links, they are interesting. These things are interesting because in a huge file system, several files and folders have links to the parent directory and to themselves. So in brief, it allows you to organize a file. It's a form of organization. Linux basically refers to the owner. This is the same for the group, and this is the date of latest modification. You can also list out hidden files. Sometimes Linux does that. If you want to list out all the files which are hidden, you can write ls-la. So you see there are two hidden files here. These are configuration files, and you can see similarly, as I mentioned, like some files have hard links which are different. And yeah, this is the metadata, size of the metadata which is associated with these two files. In this case, I have not entered any information in there. That's why it is 0. So if you want to write into this file, you can just use touch command. Sorry, not touch, cat. You can use cat or concatenate command. It can be used to write into the text file as well as concatenating two different files together. Write cat.txt. Now you can write, hi, this is a demo project. Bye. And if you want to exit this, you press Ctrl and D, and you are basically outside. And now if you want to read the contents of this file, you again use cat txt dot. So you see the contents are listed out there. Similarly, if you want to create a new directory, you can use mkdir demo, and if you type ls, you will see the color annotation is different. It is blue. All directories appear blue, but this depends on the system. This can be configured differently depending on the settings. Let us move in to demo and see that it is empty. You can also show the whole path using tree. In this case, we are only seeing the first configuration file. Interestingly, if you can also use cd to go back, cd tilde symbol to go back to the home directory. Now you are outside the YouTube directory. If you want to go back to the YouTube directory, you type YouTube. So here, this is already understood by the system that you want this actually stores all the information to this directory. So if you type this, you are back again in YouTube. Interestingly enough, you can also go back using this, using cd double dot and a /. You are now back one level up through the directory system, so you don't see that you are not inside the YouTube directory. Type cd again. As I mentioned, you can again move up and down to the previous commands using the up and down arrow key, so that you don't need to repeat the commands. Fairly interestingly, you can again remove certain files using the rm command. Rm text.txt. If you type this, you have removed the text.txt file. It has missed the file. You see that content is not available anymore. Interestingly enough, you can also remove the directory demo using rmdir. And you write demo. Now you can see that the YouTube directory is now empty. Each of these commands also have parameters associated with them. In order to demonstrate that, I will have to create demo. I'm just creating some extra files. If you want to remove these files, you can use rmr. Recursively, it will remove all the files in the folder demo. Now, you see that is gone. The previous content. In order to concatenate two files, let's say if you have a file called text.txt, let's say text1.txt, and we say I want to write into this file some information like cat. Using cat, you can obviously write, let's say, demo1, and now you are creating another file, text2, and you write demo2. Now you can concatenate these two files, text1.txt, text2.txt, into the folder new file called text3.txt. Now if you list out, you see suddenly txt, a new txt file exists called text3. Now if you list the contents of text3.txt, you see that demo1, demo2 have been created. The contents of the two files are now stored inside text3. So this is pretty useful if you want to combine data into a new folder. Similarly, this is not limited to a text file. So the text command is not limited to the creation of text files. You can also create text, or let's say worksheet .csv and ls. You will see that that file also has been created. So from this perspective, you can see that it is not limited. It's similar to renaming a file with a new extension in Windows. However, sometimes whenever you create a file like that, there might be some formatting errors. But since these are just blank files, you can do the same. For example, a program using C++, you have created a new empty C program, C file. So there is no limit to this. So you can do so many things with in this Linux terminal. So that's it for today, and I hope you learned a lot. This is a part of a larger series, and I will be listing more information in the coming videos. Thank you for your time and attention, and see you in the next one. Thanks.